like this tune. This is like my favourite song. Oh, I love it. Listen to the clever lyrics and intonation in the music. Oh, it's just so cool. I'm such a big fan. Play me a solo. Oh, I'm so into that. It's like a hand solo. Chopper, get your hands off my ass. Naughty boy. I'll be your naughty boy. Yeah, so here we go. The Alex Baker Show podcast, episode 23. Princess Leia listens to Slayer. Welcome, and a bit of Beyonce. Welcome to the show. My name's Alex Baker. This is exactly what I just said it was. Kevin's in his house.
Hey.
How you doing, Kevin?
I'm good.
Are you excited to be here once more, back in his house for the podcast spectacular exclusive?
Super hype.
Yeah, man. Hype exclusive.
Hype! Exclusive.
So we've got a whole bunch of stuff for you in the show. Let's get into it. is that all we're going to do for the start? Do you want to do something else?
I've got one little Twitter shout out.
Go on then, Twitter shout out. Big up.
This comes from the Johnny Healy.
What are you saying, the Johnny Healy?
Who says, extreme podcast listening.
Extreme.
On the bus to my Rugby Cup final, listening to the show.
Ruggers.
In Hong Kong.
Hey! That is pretty extreme. That's pretty mega extreme.
Extreme to the maximum.
I like it. Good work. I want to be in Hong Kong, hanging out, listening to the podcast.
Yeah. I like that we've got at least one listener that's sort of rugged enough to play rugby.
Yeah. We're certainly not. I tried to play rugby when I was a kid, and it went like this. Alex, come play rugby this weekend. Oh, I don't want to. I don't like it. I don't want to get hurt. No, it'll be fine. Come along. Okay, so I went along. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. Hi, I'm here for the rugby. Go and get changed in that changing room. Oh, but it's really dirty. Yeah, but, come on, you've got to get your kit on. I haven't got any kit. Oh, well, borrow this. Oh, it doesn't fit. Oh, I look a mess in this. It's all hugging in the wrong places. I don't want to be in this changing room. Stop it. No. Oh, okay, fine. So get out onto the pitch. Beep, let's play. Doosh. Oh, I got tackled real bad. Oh, I've been winded. This isn't for me. This isn't for me.
That's almost identical to what happened to me.
Is it?
I had to play rugby at school once. Within minutes, I was winded on the floor, being unable to breathe, and then I wasn't allowed to play again. It was a liability.
Well, why are we so bad?
I don't know.
We're such crap men. Welcome to the world of crap men.
However, broadcasting...
Oh, man. Broadcasting's my middle name. Alex Baker. Oh, no, that's my second. Alex Broadcasting Baker.
Yeah.
Alex John Broadcasting
That kind of
Baker.
works quite well.
Ah, yeah. ABB. ABB. Forget the BBC. It's all about the ABB. Oh, dear.
Bye.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will... Leroy Dragon!
Warning!
Hey y'all, it's revolution up in this bitch!
The
Alex
Baker Show. Kerrang Radio.
Dude, what's up?
Hey man, the other day when I was kicking it in the back seat, I heard these wild sounds. What was that?
It's
Sunday, the Alex Baker Show on Sunday. Everybody's downloading the podcast. Sunday, 10 till 12 on Sunday. Everybody's downloading the podcast. Up in here, yeah! up in here. Yeah! Alex Baker, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast.
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to you.
So what's happening, people? welcome to it's Kerrang Radio, Sunday night, 10 till 12, you know the score. It's time for the Ali B Show. Starting things off with a little bit of energy tonight. I was feeling a bit of a slump. I've been training hard this week with Virgin Active and I was feeling a little bit like, oh God, I don't know if I've got the energy to do this show. Whack on some Skrillex though. The energy levels soon pick up a little. Know what I'm saying?
I swear, it's so scary.
Rock and Roll will take you to the mountain by Skrillex here on Kerrang Radio, and I believe that Skrillex has a little message for everyone at the end of this tune.
Scary.
All the people that hate on dubstep, people that hate on sub bass. Have a listen to this. That's what he thinks.
Will take you to the mountain. Rock and roll.
You have technicians here making noise. No one is a musician. They're not artists because nobody can play the guitar.
Snap.
The Alex Baker Show. Kerrang Radio.
Oh, so here we are. It's Kerrang Radio, Sunday night, 10 till 12. You know the score. Bit of a ruckus introduction to the show tonight. Apologies. Had to get my Skrillex on, get the energy levels up. You know how we do here on Kerrang Radio. So tonight is a bit of a different show, a bit of a special show in some ways. Tonight, my friends, like last week, it is Lads Night. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. The boys are back.
Look at the jugs on her!
Whoa! God, I wouldn't mind taking her for a nice meal and potentially marrying her one day.
Yeah!
Oh, hold on, that's not laddie. Oh yeah, I'd want to take her back to mine and watch some Sherlock and maybe play a game of Scrabble. No, that's not either. I really want to take you for a nice meal, you wonderful looking lady. Oh, that's not it.
That doesn't help either.
How do we? I'm so crap at being a man.
Did you see the football?
Yeah.
Did you see how much the new kit brings out, like their complexion and their skin?
I
like,
did notice that.
It really suits.
Yeah, I did. Although I have to say, I only saw half of it because I had to switch over because Loose Women was on.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss that.
No, it's brilliant. It's so good. I feel so inspired by those ladies. You know,
Yeah.
They've all got their sort of stories of hardship and stuff like that. And whenever I watch it, I just feel like I'm one with them. you know?
Denise Welch is such a role model to me.
She really is. She's so inspiring. I mean, I know they're modern women, but how do they have the time to look so good in such a fast-paced
You know
world?
what it is? They're real.
That is exactly it, Kevin.
They're real women.
That's exactly what I like about them.
Yeah.
They are so real.
Yeah.
Oh, you've hit the nail on the head, mate.
I know.
Absolutely hit the nail on the head. They've got like an emotional connection that us guys don't tend to have.
No.
And I think that's sad. You know, I want to go to a spa weekend as much as a woman. Hang out in the pool with some lavender.
They've got that empathy you want as well. You
Exactly.
know, they hear us.
I know, they hear me.
Yep. It's okay.
I know. Yeah, so there we go. No women in the house tonight.
No.
It's so manly in here. I can just smell the testosterone. There was Haley, Rosie, Louise. None of them turned up last week, and none of them have turned up this week. In fact, I had a tweet from someone saying, "Alex, has Rosie stopped coming to the show because you keep sexually harassing her?" I do not sexually harass Rosie. Do I?
I think that's one for HR to decide, to be honest.
It's not an HR issue. That was never proved. So it's just me and Kevin in his house tonight, here on the Alex Baker Show, the Ali B Show, Sunday nights, 10 till 12. You know the score. Me, you, Tommy, Kevin, Haley sitting around chatting about various different things without Tommy, and without Haley, and without Rosie, fit, and without Louise, fit. Oh, this is no one here. I even emailed Louise saying, come on the show, and she was like, she doesn't get back to me. She doesn't care. Didn't give a monkeys. It's because we're so manly and it's intimidating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've been sorting out the flowers for the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Some beautiful bouquets I've been working on with the florist.
Oh, what have you gone for?
Well, Mel hates chameleons.
Yeah.
I love chameleons.
Yeah.
Is that even a flower? I don't know. Chameleon's like a lizard.
It's a lizard.
Oh, man.
I tell you what you want, though.
What?
Poinsettias.
Oh, poinsettias.
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 No, it's got an eye on.
They call poinsettias.
It's got an eye.
It's poinsettia. I know my flowers. I just asked the chameleons. Right, anyway, I have to ask. It's one of the things I have to do every week. Kevin. Check!
What has
Kevin
done this week?
Nothing. Tell me. Shoot from the hip. Oh, by the way, this is Kevin.
Hello.
He works at Kerrang and he's my mate, and I wanted him on the show, so that's why he's here.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
Shoot. What have you done? Shoot.
Ooh. Not a lot.
Oh, hold on. Mel's calling. Mel's calling.
Oh.
Hello. Hi, babe. I'm on air at the moment. Can I speak to you in a bit? Okay, love you.
Oh, I love you.
Oh, off. So anyway, what have you done? So that was a bit brutal. Apologies.
It was a little bit. You
Love
my
you.
feelings, man.
Love you too.
Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this the love?
Check.
What has
Kevin done this week? Nothing. Kevin,
What?
what have you done this week?
Sorry, I'm trying to make up with you. I don't like fighting.
I haven't fighted. I haven't fighting. Fighting? Yeah, of course we did some fighting. We're going down the pub. Hey, there's no women to temper us here. There's no women to temper us. That's not a chant.
Should be.
That's rubbish. There's no women to temper us here. What kind of hooligan chant is that?
Oh, God. So anyway.
Check!
What has
Kevin done this week? Nothing.
I just spent loads of time watching Little Women. I just feel so at one with their characters. And then I watched that Kerry Katona Celebrity Wedding Planner.
I actually wanted to watch that.
Oh yeah, I totally wanted to watch that because apparently she likes Morrissey, and I really like Morrissey as well. And whenever I'm at home, I have a candlelit bath and I listen to Morrissey. And Key makes all my food for me and does all my washing up because I'm totally not independent in any way.
I do the washing up actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good lad.
All
High
the
five.
time.
Anyway, what have you done this week, damn it?
I've been working on my handwriting.
Right.
My handwriting's always been terrible, but I've been on a course lately, and being on that course, I've had to take a lot of notes.
You're the dullest man alive!
No, but I've realised that I can't read my own notes back.
Right.
Which is pretty bad.
My writing is like hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
It's just shapes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
So I've been trying to improve that really for my own benefit and for that of others.
Yeah, well, that's a worthwhile cause.
Yeah.
Something I'm glad you're engaged in.
Thanks.
Good. Right, so last week on the show, we were talking about whether or not you'd want to live forever if you could. And I had some fantastic comments from you guys. I mean, you're so astute with your comments. And Josh Cartwright said, I would like to be alive to see how the world ends, if that makes sense. Yeah, brutal.
That's pretty cool, actually.
But what the thing is, if you lived forever, you couldn't die, and the world ended, what would happen? You'd be floating around in space.
Is there a distinct... No, because space would end. Oh, no, because if it's just... if the planet Earth ended, then yeah, you might carry on. But
It's
if
floating around in space for eternity. That's like hell.
If the universe ended,
yeah, that's
then
not
you'd
going
go.
to happen. Universe is expanding, Kevin. Expanding at a rate of knots.
Into what?
Well, quite. Charlie Colgan said... I don't know why you've underlined that. Charlie Colgan said,
accident.
No need if you do it right in the space of one lifetime, I think. So there's no need to live forever if you do it right in a space of one lifetime. Kind of, yeah, maybe missed the point slightly. Scott Newton says, nah, I'm really curious about death and what's beyond, though I don't want to explore death just yet. Haha. Sophie Smith says, yeah, I'd want to see if that DFS sale ever ends. Brilliant. I love that DFS. There's always a sale on.
Yeah.
Hurry, because stocks are going quick. Only 3 days left. And then 4 days later, brand new DFS sale. Hold on a second. Oh, brilliant. So that's what you guys thought about, living forever. Would you want to live forever? I don't know. I still don't know. Kevin, you were saying it would be brilliant to live forever. How amazing it would be, except what X, Y, Z.
Yep.
I was saying that I'm not sure. I think there's something intrinsically good about the fact we've only got a short time on this earth because it makes us appreciate what we've got and how fleeting life is. Perhaps not. So anyway, on the show a couple of weeks back, we were talking about Killswitch Engage and how Howard Jones has left the band. I didn't realise he left the band because he's got type 2 diabetes.
Is that why
Did
he
you
left?
know that? Yeah.
No.
Apparently he'd had it for ages and it had gone undiagnosed.
Wow.
Yeah, and he just couldn't hack it anymore because of all the pressure on his health and stuff.
Bloody
Isn't
hell.
that mad? He looked like such a healthy young man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was massive, but he wasn't fat.
No, he was hench.
Yeah, he's just a big, like a doorman, like a friendly doorman.
Yeah.
So anyway, Killswitch Engage have announced that Howard Jones has left the band. And that is why he's left the band. There's probably some other reasons as well, I imagine, but that's one of the main reasons. And they were looking for a new vocalist, obviously, because they want to carry on. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if they were able to sort of let their fans be the vocalist, or maybe I should try out and be their vocalist?
Yep.
The next day, they announced that they're going to make a fan their new vocalist.
Really?
Really and truly.
Oh my God.
If you go to killswitchengage.com or type it into Google and find out the official website, there is a thing where you can submit MP3s of you singing Killswitch songs.
Oh.
And they'll consider you for the place.
Do it.
Right, so do you think I should go for it?
Yeah, man.
What if I got it, though? My whole life would change.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, but I'd be on tour all the time. I'd never see anyone.
Yeah.
It'd be a nightmare.
It's all right.
I'd have to hang out with Adam D all the time. He'd get his balls out like he did at Download. That guy could not leave his balls in his pants.
Well.
There was balls everywhere. It was horrible. He's a nice guy though, even with his balls everywhere in my face. So
Maybe that's why they wrote that song, you know, the end of Ball Ache.
Oh no, you did it! Oh man, I was laughing so much then I wasn't sure if I was alive or just breathing. That doesn't even make sense, really. But it doesn't matter.
I tell you what, though, the first time I ever heard that song, I remember just literally sitting in my room and bawling my eyes out. Bawling.
Oh, bawling! They were still doing kill switch ones, but that still makes sense. Oh dear me. Oh, that's funny. That is really funny. Oh,
I mean,
mate.
but being funny is just my curse.
Oh man. Oh god, if I don't stop laughing, I'm going to die and there's going to be a Rose of Sharon. That's so rubbish. Oh, so rubbish.
Oh, holy diver.
Oh, but I just want to do one more joke. Just one more last serenade. Whistles, malice. Anyway, so I had an email from a chap called Joseph Michaelides. Hello, Joseph Michaelides. In fact, you featured on the show last week as well, as I recall. I'd never forget a name, Joe. What's your name? Joseph Michaelides. That wasn't even on purpose. Brilliant. That was pure accident. Oh, the irony. He says, is there any way in the world, in exclamation marks, that you could teach listeners of the show how to scream? Like you're the expert on this, he says, ... Love you, Alex and Hayley. Not so much Kev.
Wow.
Legendary status.
Well.
So he wants me to teach listeners how to scream. What he's talking about is because I actually auditioned for Killswitch Engage live on the show. And sang some Killswitch stuff over a Killswitch song. At least I'm just going to say Killswitch in one sentence. and yeah, well, I have been a screamer, so to speak, for years. I've been in metal bands for my whole life, really. Since, well, not my whole life, that'd be ridiculous. Imagine that. Oh, it's a boy! Yeah! Rather than crying. What's wrong with him? Yeah! I think he wants feeding.
What does he eat? Riffs.
That'd be amazing. Oh, here comes the breakdown. Give me my bottle, mommy. Dun 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 dun. But yeah, so I could teach you all how to scream. It's not difficult. It just takes practice. Shall I do that? Should we make a new feature on the show called Teaching Listeners How to Scream? Teaching Listeners How to Scream. Should we do it?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so it starts now. I'll give you a tip each week. Michael, what's his name? Joseph? Michaelides.
Michelangelo.
First tip, breathe from your stomach, not from your lungs.
How'd you do that?
So sit up straight in your chair. Everyone around the world right now, sit up straight in your chair. Yep. Now, okay, there's two ways you can breathe. You can breathe with your lungs, you can breathe with your diaphragm.
Okay.
Now, so you breathe with your lungs, that's normal. In. Out. You'll see your chest is rising.
Yep.
Rising. And falling. Okay. Now that is a breath, but that is not a musical breath. Okay. No. To have musical breaths, you need control, and control comes from the diaphragm.
Right.
So now we're going to breathe from the diaphragm. Now what I want you to do is breathe, but as you breathe, don't let your chest rise, let your stomach come out. As if you're pushing your belly out, but don't actually push it out, just let the air do the work. So now go...
So should it come out while you breathe in?
Yeah.
And then go in
while
when
you're
you breathe
sucking in, it should... Okay. So now, watch how my... Well, you can't see this, but Kev, watch how my lungs aren't rising at all.
Yeah.
Just my belly is going out. And
okay.
Then
Nice.
back in. See that? Now you try it.
Well, that was wrong. My stomach went in when I breathed in.
Your stomach has to go out. You're pushing your stomach out. So that's control. That's from your diaphragm. So that's the first thing. Now, I'm not giving you any more lessons until you've mastered that. Breathe from the diaphragm, not from the lungs. A musical breath, not a regular breath. Learn it. Diaphragm.
You're lightheaded.
Not lungs. Okay?
Cool.
That's the first tip in... How did the jingle go? Teaching listeners how to scream. Teaching listeners how to scream. Good. Okay, so that's that. Next on the agenda, there's an amazing thing that I've seen on the internet this week. It blew my mind with its amazingness. Someone sent it to me. I think it was producer Fernie, actually, from Kate's show. Someone's taken a Lionel Richie song, Hello, the famous Lionel Richie song. Pretty much the only Lionel Richie song most people know. That one. What's the other one? Brick House. I saw him in concert once. It was rubbish.
Really?
Yeah, he was like... Well, he wasn't rubbish. He was fine. But he was such a cheesy dude. He had like a red silk shirt on and stuff. It was really cringeworthy. But anyway, someone's taken the song Hello and replaced the vocals with movie clips. Now, obviously, to get the full impact of this, you need to type in Lionel Richie Hello movie clips into Google and you'll find it. It's gone viral, so like various newspapers and stuff have reported on it, so you'll be able to find the link somewhere. But it also just sounds amazing. It's really well done. And it retains its emotion somehow. The clips that he's used has in some way retained their emotion. I think it's so cool. So listen to this. It's awesome. Cool sell, bro. Bit of Lionel on the Alex Baker Show. That's how we roll. What genre restrictions?
I've been alone with you.
Inside
My mind.
All different movies.
And in my dreams. I kissed your lips.
1,000 times.
I sometimes
See you pass outside my door.
Outside my door.
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello. To me.
You looking for?
It's wicked, isn't it?
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile.
It's so cool.
You're all I've ever wanted.
And my
Arms open wide.
Arms.
Because you know just what to say.
And you know
Just what to do. I want to tell you so much.
Big long ring picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger here.
I love you.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Amazing.
Dramatic.
It reminds me of Bumblebee from
I was
Transformers.
thinking that too. Oh my god! Like mind jinx.
Wavelength.
Oh my god! Wait. Do you reckon we can still do that weird thing?
Oh, yeah, where we predict the future about each other.
Oh man, I tell you what. If you don't know what we're talking about, on Christmas Day, was it Christmas Day show?
No, it was New Year's Day. Because
New
that
Year's
was the one we
Day.
pre-recorded.
So we pre-recorded a show, and what happened is because we time travelled, because we'd pre-recorded it the week before, and it was all really confusing. Me and Kev managed to develop this ability to be able to completely predict what words each other were going to say, and it was really creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was just a product of the environment we were in because we were pre-recording or what. I don't know. But right now, we won't be able to do it again.
No,
will we?
surely not.
Let's just give it a go. Okay, I'm thinking of a word. On 3, let's say the same word.
Okay.
1, 2,
Platypus.
elephant. Oh, right. So that was wrong. That didn't work.
We both
Okay.
went for an animal, though.
That's true. That's true. I knew it wouldn't work again. Should we try it again anyway, just for luck?
Yeah, cool.
Okay, go on. Let's think of a word. Okay, got one.
Okay.
1, 2, rock.
Scissors. Ooh.
That's wrong, but that's still kind of...
That's weird.
That was Junkin Boy. Or scissors, paper, stone.
Oh, okay.
That's weird that we kind of on a similar wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we're getting better at it.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we'll get this one right? No.
No, surely not.
Surely not.
Nah.
Let's give it a go.
Okay.
1, 2, dogmatic.
Ah!
How's that happened?
It was like we progressed into being able to do it in stages.
We can't be able to do it. It's completely creepy.
So weird.
All right, let's do it again. In fact, you do it.
Okay. Yeah, ready. Okay.
Go on.
1, 2.
Mobile phone. How? How is this possible? I don't believe it. 1, 2. Shag pile carpet. What the hell? This is so creepy. What have you become?
1, 2.
Sometimes when I'm at the urinal, I like to pull my trousers all the way down. You're actually Satan! I don't believe what's going on! Oh my god! I need to play a tune!
The Alex Baker Show podcast.
Welcome to the show. Me and Kev are well and truly freaked out to the point where I don't even want to try and do it again. We've been doing this thing where our minds have melded and we're able to just know exactly what each other's going to say, and it's creeping me out. So we're just going to put an end to that right here and right now. No more of that on the show tonight. Thank you. Right, so later on in this show, we're going to be talking about various different things, as we always do. Going to be asking very soon, what is the greatest film of all time? We've got a new feature, try using it in a sentence today, and we're going to be asking, is there any evidence for God? something else we're going to be talking about on the show. There's loads of stuff coming up, but right now it is indeed time for Hayley to tell you how.
Hey, boys.
Hayley tells you how, baby.
Yeah.
Hayley tells you how to clean up your vomits.
Hi, my name's Hayley, but you can call me gorgeous. So, sometimes after I've been out getting utterly shit-faced with my sexy friends, I like to treat myself by getting my hands around a nice, hot kebab. I love the way the thick, fatty grease dribbles down my chin. It's just so, sexy. The only issue is, once I'm back at home, I sometimes find myself feeling a little queasy from the torrent of drinking that took place. And being totally sexily honest, sometimes this may result in me quite literally chucking up the contents of my intestines all over my student line-up sexy floor. Never fear though. All you need is an old flannel from the bathroom and some sexy water from the toilet to wipe up and clean that sexy mess. So now you know, a cloth with some water is all you need to stop your vomit becoming a permanent feature in your home. Sexy.
The Alex Baker Show podcast.
So one thing that we've been doing on the show for ages, for so long it hurts my mind, is we've been trying to decide collectively on what is the greatest film of all time. What was that? Do it properly. Of all time. Oh, Kevin!
Sorry, we've just done
What kind of crap echo effect are you?
We've just done this so many times.
Times. You're not doing it properly.
Okay, do it again.
No, I don't want to do it again.
No, I'm standing up now.
Great film of all time. Thank you. So, the only way we could potentially decide on the greatest film of all time is breaking it down into genres. And over the past, literally, probably almost 2 years, we've done that very thing. And encouraged you guys to create a short list of the greatest films within that particular genre, and then the following week vote on the top 5 that you guys pick in that genre to create an overall winner. And I've got an enormous list in front of me from all the different genres, and I'll read them out to you right now. I used to be able to do this in one breath, but it's got so long now, I'm not sure if I'm able to. But I'm going to give it a go.
One last go, come on.
Here we go. Gangster, the winner was Goodfellas. Comedy, the winner is Anchorman. Horror, it was A Nightmare on Elm Street, original version. Action, Die Hard. Kids film, Toy Story. Thriller, Donnie Darko. Sci-fi, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Rom-com, Love Actually. Drama, The Shawshank Redemption. Adventure, Pirates of the Caribbean. Musical, The Rock Horror Picture Show. Disaster, Armageddon. War, Saving Private Ryan. Western, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Chick flick, Mean Girls. Teen movie, American Pie. Sports, Cool Running. Spoof, Scary Movie. Documentary, Foo Fighters, Back and Forth. Anime, Spirited Away. Biopic, Catch Me If You Can. Epic, Historic. 300.
Nice.
And last week, or whenever it was, we asked you for the final genre. Obviously good films that just aren't on the list so far. You created the top 5, which were Wayne's World, American Psycho, The Lion King, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and Clerks. Or is it Clarks?
I say Clerks.
Let's call the whole thing off. The winner, though, that you guys voted on was none other than The Lion King.
Raw.
That is an awesome. Although, do you know what? That's just made me realise something. We are missing a genre.
Are we?
Disney.
You can't have its own genre.
Why not?
Kids film. All the Disney films came up in that.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true. I'm just trying to extend it pointlessly.
You shouldn't.
So we've literally done gangster comedy, horror action, kids film, thriller, sci-fi rom-com, drama adventure, musical, disaster, war, western, chick flick, teen movie, sports spoof, documentary, anime, biopic, and epic historic, and obviously good films that just aren't on the list so far. And the winner of that one, like I say, was Lion King. We have come to the end of this feature.
This is a scary place now.
This is really scary. So what Kev's going to do, can you put that many on a poll on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to put every single one of these movies on a poll on Facebook, and you're going to vote for your ultimate favourite. And whichever comes out as the ultimate favourite will win. That is the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. Literally. These are the films we're talking about here. Goodfellas, incredible. One of the best films ever made in that genre, in the gangster genre. It's fantastic. I mean, some people disagree and say Scarface is better. Some people disagree and say The Godfather 1 or Godfather 2 is better. Some people even say The Godfather 3, controversially, but is pretty damn good. But Goodfellas, I actually do agree, is one of the greatest gangster films, well, the greatest gangster film of all time. It's incredible. Comedy, the winner was Anchorman. What an unbelievably good film. It's the voice of a generation. So many people love that film. People have grown up with it, or people have just discovered it when they were students. Like I discovered it when I was a student. Laughed every 30 seconds throughout the whole film. Absolutely fantastic. Horror was A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original version. A film that scared everyone that watched it when it first came out to death. Not obviously to death. That would have been ridiculous. It would have wiped out a generation. But it scared a lot of people, including myself. And what was interesting about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is that the first one was genuinely scary and the rest of them were like spoofs. It's really weird. I don't know if you've not seen any of them. You look at me totally blank. Yeah, the first one's really scary and the rest of them are just totally stupid and, and funny. It's really, really weird. Action, the winner was Die Hard. I mean, is there a better action film than Die Hard? I think The Rock comes close second. But I mean, really, Die Hard 2. In fact, no, Die Hard 2 wasn't that great. Really, Die Hard 3 and Die Hard 4 even beat The Rock. So Die Hard generally, best action film of all time. Kids film Toy Story, again, changed cinema.
I've seen that one.
Kids. Yeah, well done. You haven't not seen Die Hard?
No.
How can you have not seen Die Hard? How am I engaging in this? We're at the climax of this wonderful thing that we've been doing on the show. All these people that are passionate about films, and I'm sitting in a studio with someone that hasn't even seen Die Hard. Literally, that is so awful. What is the matter with you? So Toy Story was kids' film. Thriller was Donnie Darko. Again, one of the most talked about films of its season. When it came out, everyone was all over it.
Seen that as well.
It's still a cult film. Everyone loves it. Put Jake Gyllenhaal on the map as well. Sci-fi was Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. As much as I don't like the Star Wars franchise, and I'm not going to lie about it, I can appreciate why that's in there. Rom-com, the winner was Love Actually. There were a lot of rom-coms, but Love Actually, again, one of those monumental films, similar to Notting Hill, I suppose, in a sense. It's one of those films that really put romantic comedy on the map, and it's synonymous with so many fantastic actors and people that are just a voice of their generation. Drama, the winner was Shawshank Redemption. In my opinion, the greatest film ever made. If you haven't seen The Shawshank Redemption, Kevin, please tell me you've seen The Shawshank Redemption.
I've seen The Shawshank Redemption.
What happens?
They go to prison.
Yeah.
And then eventually, the one that's not Morgan Freeman gets out, or is it Morgan Freeman? One of them gets out, and there's like
you could just be blagging this.
No, I know.
Do you promise you've seen it?
And his friend who he made friends with in
Don't
prison.
just tell me the start and the end. What happens in the middle?
Like,
give me the meat of the sandwich.
Guy gets beat up in the laundry room.
That could be any prison film.
Well, it happens in Shawshank. I know it does. And they play the thing out on the speakers. They play the music.
Yes, they do.
And then at the end, he's got the left.
Don't tell the people the end. Don't tell people the end. Maybe you might have seen it. Okay, drama. The winner was Shawshank Redemption. In my personal view, the greatest film of all time. But don't let that sway you. Adventure. No, seriously, don't let it sway you. Adventure. Pirates of the Caribbean. Oh, controversial perhaps. Is it the greatest adventure film of all time? I don't know, but it's very good. Musical was the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Again, controversial perhaps for some people, perhaps not for others. Hence controversy. Disaster. The winner was Armageddon. I have to agree with that. Armageddon's got to be the greatest disaster film of all time. War, Saving Private Ryan. Not sure if I agree with that, but it was, again, one of those films that really rocked cinema when it came out. Western, The Good, The Bad and the Ugly. Never seen it. Hate Westerns. Not interested. Chick flick was Mean Girls, which I thought at the time was controversial. Chick flick, Mean Girls. Surely there's better chick flicks than Mean Girls. It's got to be. I can't think of any right now.
No.
But surely, like, what about 30 Going on 30 or 10 Things I Hate About You or 21 Dresses or Runaway Bride? There's loads.
Yeah, but they're all rubbish.
They're all amazing. Totally.
I'm fronting here, Alex.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Teen movie, winner was American Pie. Have you seen the trailer for the new American Pie?
I've heard. I haven't seen it, but I've heard.
If you have not yet watched the trailer for the brand new American Pie, especially if you're between the ages of about 23 and 35, please watch the trailer. It's called American Reunion, I think it's called.
Okay.
It looks like... You know how American Pie as a franchise, right? American Pie 1 was great, American Pie 2 was great, 3 was crap, and it went downhill from there.
Yeah.
And they've basically released like one a year, and they've all been straight to DVD and
Yeah.
totally rubbish. Well, this new one looks as good as American Pie 1.
Why?
So, and the reason I give that age definition is because it was so significant when it came out.
Yeah.
For my generation, it was the Porkies of this generation. It was so seminal, brilliant in more ways than one. Was it seminal? Also sports. So winner in the sports category was Cool Runnings. Now I think that's probably the product of most people not being a fan of sports movies, because there are so many great sports movies. Cool Runnings is definitely one of them, and it's definitely the funniest. But there's so many like Friday Night Lights and Coach Carter and all these ones. But that is a fantastic film. Spoof, the winner was Scary Movie. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best. The first Scary Movie. Yeah. Actually, the second one was awesome. Is it my hand, child? Make way for Fanny.
I still disagree with that, but spoof is a genre that I do love. I think Hot Shots Part Dirt and Airplane.
Oh yeah. Oh, but they're not. But Hot Shots Part Dirt is. But Airplane's not really a spoof. It's just a comedy, right?
It's pretty spoofy.
What's it taking the mick out of?
Like, I don't know actually.
I think it's just a funny film, but Hot Shots is taking the piss out of loads of stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely. Hot Shots Part 2 is brilliant. What a great film. Documentary, the winner was Foo Fighters Back and Forth, rightly so. Anime was Spirited Away, rightly so. Biopic was Catch Me If You Can. Another fantastic. I mean, that's one of those films, Catch Me If You Can. If you've not seen it, Leonardo DiCaprio plays this guy who's basically a con man. Brilliant. What a great film. You've seen that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, no, I genuinely love it.
It's brilliant. You said it. Yeah, I love that. Totes involved, Baker.
No, it's one of my faves.
Totes involved. And then Epic Historic, the winner was 300. I don't really agree with that. I think Braveheart's much better than 300. I think 300's great. And again, Voice of the Generation. Lots of people are very excited about it. But I think Braveheart's better. But, there we go. That's the one that won. It's democratic. You guys chose it. So that's what won. And then obviously good films that just aren't on the list so far. There are so many. I still can't believe Wayne's World hasn't made the final cut. I can't believe Terminator 2 hasn't made the final cut. Clerks, I mean, American Psycho's good, but it's not that good. The winner was Lion King. And so deserves a place on the list.
Yeah.
My favourite film of all time, aside from Shawshank Redemption, is actually Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. I absolutely love that film so much. I think it's brilliant. But The Lion King, to be fair, is incredible. So there we go. Those are the films. Goodfellas, Anchorman, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Die Hard, Toy Story, Donnie Darko, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Love Actually, The Shawshank Redemption, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, Armageddon, Saving Private Ryan, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Mean Girls, American Pie, Cool Runnings, Scary Movie, Foo Fighters Back and Forth, Spirited Away, Catch Me If You Can, 300, and The Lion King. Those are, according to you guys, over the past couple of years, the greatest films of all time.
Time. Before you go any further, I've just remembered something.
Yeah.
In preparation of this, because it's actually the final, I have already put together a sort of method for how it's going to work.
Oh, good. Oh, you're so organised.
Because I thought
Explain yourself.
Because as it's a final, it's quite important. I didn't want anything to go wrong. So we're doing it on our website. So get to kerrangradio.co.uk/Alex. That'll take everyone to your pages.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a thing on there that says the greatest film of all time final. Click on that and vote on there.
Okay.
So there's like a little form on there that you vote with. And it's just because it's a bit more reliable then, because, Facebook's like if it goes down and we have to drag this out even longer.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so kerrangradio.co.uk/Alex. Find the greatest film of all time final. Click on that and submit your vote. Yeah?
Sound good?
Sounds great. And then, okay, so that's great.
Should we keep this going for like more than a week as well? Give people time to sort of get their vote in, because it as we've been doing it so long,
seems shame to all in a week.
Yeah.
No, because we're not on air next week. I don't want to drag it out for another week.
Well, that means that we can leave it going for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it going for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's put a closing date on it.
Yeah.
Let me get my calendar. Closing date of Monday the 30th. Yeah?
Of January.
Monday the 30th of January. You've got between now and Monday the 30th of January. Is it unique votes as well? Can you only vote once?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can only vote once. You can ask your friends and family too, obviously, but you can only vote once. Between now and the 30th of January, what of those films is the greatest film of all time? kerrangradio.co.uk/Alex. Find the greatest film of all time. Final little button there. Click on that and make your vote. Cast your vote. And of course, the winning film, the absolute winner, the overall winner, will be screened at a cinema in Birmingham. And you guys can come along and hang out, have some chorizo, chat to us. We'll have a bit of a party and it'll be all good. That's what's going to happen. We might even record some show there or something. Maybe even broadcast live. I don't know. Maybe probably not. That's too much work. But we're gonna have a good time anyway. So there we go. I feel like we're almost at the end of an era. The epic battle of epic proportions will be on the show when I read out the winner.
In 2 weeks' time.
I have promised there'll be an epic battle of epic proportions. I'm not going to let that just slide. There will be an epic battle of epic proportions based on your votes.
Will there be orcs?
There's probably going to be some orcs. Yeah, not
Cool.
going to lie. There might even be a troll or two. Not like an internet troll, but like an actual real troll.
Wow.
Like a real one. One of those ones with the wicked hair that you can brush. That's gonna make an appearance too. It's gonna be amazing. So there we go. The epic battle is on its way, and it's based on your votes. KerrangRadio.co.uk/Alex. What is, Kevin? We're getting to the end of this. The greatest film of all.
Excuse me for interrupting, boys and girls, but maybe you would like to find out just what it would be like if there were no rules.
But how could we do that?
By going someplace where there are no rules.
Now where could that be?
The Alex Baker Show.
Kerrang Radio.
Let's all think real hard and pretend we're in a faraway place.
Where anything goes and nothing is off limits.
Now come on.
Let's go to the world of
The coolest
Broadcast transmission
this world has ever known.
Everyone knows his name.
He's as crazy as a coot. People all over the world are losing their damn minds. And there's nothing you can do about it. Are you ready to rock?
He knows he must be stopped before he fulfills his terrifying mission.
I don't think there are any words to describe.
How very inappropriate.
His radio
Shows really are.
He's never going to admit it. My advice to you, start drinking heavily.
Remember, don't try this at home.
He is seriously twisted.
He's the man with the records. Anything goes and nothing is off limits. If you can't handle it, turn the channel.
Listen to this man.
He bit Dakota Fanning on the face.
He just wants to play.
The person I'm about to introduce needs no introduction.
Yeah.
So please give a warm, hormonal shriek for the sizzling hot
Alex Baker.
Oh my life! Welcome to the show, Sunday nights 10 till 12, you know the score. It's the Alex Baker Show. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for joining me here on Sunday nights. I know Sunday nights are a bit of a weird one. Maybe you're tucked up in bed right now and I'm waking you up by shouting at you. Ah! Maybe you're chilled. Maybe you're just reading a magazine and listening to the show. Maybe just in the back of your mind. Not now! We're the forefront of your mind, and that is where I like it. You're in my his house now, yo. So coming up on the show, we've got loads of stuff. Got to be asking you, is there any evidence for God coming up soon? Try using it as a sentence today. You get what I'm saying, blood? Oh no! Oh God! With a random rap. But why do I insist on using that particular word? It always picks me up when I say blood. Can't believe it. Well, alright, so what's happening right now is this random rap battle has commenced. We get punished by the gods of rock every single time I use rap terminology. And we have to freestyle rap battle each other live in the studio to sort of, you know, to make us look stupid. Well, the topic's got to be films, right?
Oh, alright.
Topic's got to be films. Kevin, I started last time.
Oh, God.
You've got to take it away. Freestyle random rap battle on the topic of films. You ready for this?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, let's go!
Watching films, I don't do it that often. Partially because I'm a bit of a soft and I don't like horror and I don't like violence. But I like a classic as long as it's timeless, yo. And I never get sick bars. And you know what, I like my sick bars. And I got you with them strong pars. Never gonna watch a film where they're fighting in bars. I can't think of a film where they're fighting in bars. But they probably do it in a gangster film like Snatch, Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and other things. I lost it.
I liked your little
started so well.
I liked your sort of kind of laid back vibes when I'm on the mic. You're not gonna give it too much hype. It's cool, man. Yeah, right, okay, let's go back in. Yo, you mentioned Snatch. I love that film. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh my days, that doesn't even rhyme. What a rubbish start to my rap. I better quickly get it back. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. That's a good film. I used to watch it lots.
Oh dear.
This is hard.
Oh dear.
This is hard. Oh my God, you have to come back in. I've failed. All right, come back in. It's yours. It's yours. The world is yours. Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now.
Bad start.
Will Smith, yeah, he's my bro. I can't give a straight face on that one. Ridiculous.
Come on.
Wild Wild West, his name is Jim West, and he keeps you fresh, gets him out of that dress. His name's Jim West, and he's the best, and I like his nice ways. He's got...
This is rubbish! This is rubbish! Hold on, let's take a breather.
Oh, we need to collect up. I started so well!
Okay, let's get back into this. Okay. Just get into the mindset of a rapper. A rapper that likes films. Think about MTV Cribs and all that business. Right, here we go. I'm gonna go in with my local voice. My low key when I'm on the mic. Let's go. Yo. My friends sometimes call me Scarface, but I'm not like Tony Montana, that man's a disgrace. He just got loads of guns and went out there with his cocaine thunder. He just wanted to shoot people down. Didn't give a crap whether he looked like a clown with cocaine on his face. He was a disgrace. So when I'm on the mic, my lyrics get real. I'm like Scarface without all the drug abuse. I wanna get my gun. Not that I've got a gun, cause that's really violent. Put down your guns and put up your fists. When you're on the mic, I can't do it. This is really hard.
Yo!
Oh my god.
Listen up. Say hello to my little friend, although I haven't seen that film, so I ain't gonna pretend that I have, even though I've heard that quote a lot, and I got one line. I got one line, and that's it.
Why is this so difficult today? Okay, right. We're both losing here. The clapometer's on the floor. Dermot O'Leary will be sad. Right, okay, I'm gonna come back in strong. I'm gonna come back in with a high-pitched voice. I love movies. This is my life. I watch them all the time. Right, hear me now. The first time I ever watched Pulp Fiction, I was like, what? My head was completely in shock. I couldn't believe it. It was such a great film. Quentin Tarantino quickly become a fan. I was like, Quentin, how come you've got so many great ideas for movies? And he said to me, he whispered in my ear, it wasn't very loud, but it was very clear. He said, listen, Alex, I watch so many films. I watch like 6 or 7 films a day. I was like, oh my god, you don't even play. That is insane. How do you have so much time in your day? He was like, I've got loads of money because I made loads of films and I got lots of flurry in my pocket. I got lots of Skrilla. That's a jinx word for lots of money. I went to my bank, pulled out my money, made a home cinema, pulled out my money. I made a film, lots of money. Made another film, got lots more money. Reservoir Dogs, money. Lots of other films, money. Oh man.
Right, okay, yeah. This is my chance now.
This is it.
Listen. Mama me, what a disgrace. When I watched that, it was written all over my face. The shock of how bad it was. And I just turned to myself and said, what? Meryl Streep, you are a I'ma cut you up and I'ma lock you in my drawer. Never let you see the light of day again until you tell me who the dad was of your friend. Not your friend, it was your daughter. It was your daughter, you little slaughter.
Oh my god, they're talking about films you hate, right? Yo, listen up, have you ever seen Gone with the Wind? Everyone tells you it's a classic. Well, I've got news for you, that film is I'm gonna your daughter. Whoever made it, you're a disgrace. Like Kevin says, it's like Meryl Streep, but even worse. Even though I like Meryl Streep and Death Becomes Her, but we're not talking about it because that's a sick film. Gone with the Wind, it's really crap. When I'm on the mic, I want to slap it in its head. That doesn't rhyme. That's how annoyed I am. Because I only use verse when I'm really being emphatic. Prose. Oh. That was awful. That was
Bring it back.
That was potentially the worst random rap ever.
I can feel it coming. I can feel it coming.
But you really want more?
Yeah.
Does anyone else want more?
Yeah, more, yeah, woo, yeah, woo. I love the random rap battle.
Alex Baker's the best broadcaster ever. Right, okay, more. Let's bring it back. Alright then, so let's get back into this. No messing. Kev reckons he's got another verse or two up his sleeve. I want to see if he's true or if he's just got a weave.
When's the beat coming? Soon, isn't
you've got a little while.
A little while to fill.
Yeah, here we go. No, here we go. I think it's coming in now. Let's go, yeah.
Casablanca, you f***ing make me watch that and I might have to shank ya. But not really, because knife crime's bad. A bit like Green Mile, man, that was sad. But not sad as the bucket list with Nicholson. Man, that film was really sad, son. But not much as Shawshank, even though I haven't really seen that. But don't tell Alex, lad.
What? Have you not?
No, I'm joking. I'm pulling your leg. A bit like Father Ted.
Alright, you're rubbish. I'm coming back in strong. Right, you're talking about movies that are sad. I got a few things to say about this. From a hardcore rapper, Ali B on the mic. Let's go. Yo, everyone looks at me and gets scared, cause I'm quite leery and quite hard. Got muscles pounding out my chest, got muscles on my arms. Everyone's like, man, that guy is like a brick house. I wouldn't take his
in his house because bricks would fall on me. That's how hench she is. He's so hard. But let me tell you something right now. I'm actually quite soft. I watched The Notebook, cried my eyes out. Beauty and the Beast, cried my eyes out. Aladdin, cried my eyes out. That's how I do. When I'm on the mic, I don't mess around, so don't screw. I'm quite softy at heart. Every single time I'm rocking on the mic, I'm thinking, oh my God, what if I lose my abilities as a rapper? That would be really sad. And then I lock myself in my room, swallow sadness, cry deeply into my pillar, thinking, oh no, what if it all gets taken away free from me? It'll be awful, what would I do? I'd have to lock myself in the panic room. That's a sick film too, have you seen it? It's the one when the band gets in the locks in the hing mitt. Doesn't make sense, have you seen E.T.? Aliens get carried away by me, not by me, not by Steven Spielberg, by effects departments in the 80s. That's how they do when I'm on the mic. Did it even come out in the 80s? I don't even know. I'm not even rapping, it's not even making sense. I'm just bouncing on my chair. Lyrical genius. Oh, this is rubbish.
That was big.
We're rubbish. I don't even think either of us have won that.
No.
To be fair, my flows are better, but you had better rhymes.
Yeah.
You had better lines. You always start so strong.
I know.
Because you think about it, though. I can tell you think about it.
No, but literally like seconds before, like, as I'm getting ready.
Yeah. Should we do one last one? Should we go bar for bar?
Right.
Let's go! Oh! Yeah, you start, Kev. Take this away. All about Disney.
Oh, Disney?
Disney only.
Oh,
that's how we do Disney.
Right, here we go.
But you've only seen like one Disney film, haven't you? Yeah.
The Lion King, that's not really my ting. Mufasa's no G, he's not for me. But I gotta say, my family are all about Timon and Pumbaa, you see. They get comedy values. It's all about laughing in the values of Africa. And they went quite far.
It's all about laughing at the values of Africa. Was that actually one of your lyrics?
No.
I'm sure you didn't mean that.
No, I didn't say that.
Alright, okay. Disney going in strong. Right. I'm gonna do a gravelly voice for this one. You ready for my gravelly voice? Yeah, that's how we do. Mirror, 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 hanging on the wall. Who'll be the fairest mother of them all? My name is Baker, I'm gonna cut down crews. Anyone that thinks they're better looking than me, cause I'm the best looking guy in town. Best lyrical genius on the mic. Doesn't rhyme, doesn't really care, cause I'm the fairest in the land, it just ain't fair. It ain't fair for anybody who ain't fairer than me. And I know it's real sad, but what can I do? The Huntsman, Snow White the Huntsman, will be coming out soon. You'll see, it's got that girl from Twilight in, the one that always goes you know what I'm saying? She can't act, she's totally crap, but she kinda looks quite cool. Apart from her ears, they stick out really far, it makes me have fears. All my days, what if I have a daughter? Her ears look like I might have to slaughter her. It would be disgusting, horrendous. She looked like a vampire princess. I moved away from Disney. Anyway, carry back in. Yeah.
Prince Charming, he's quite alarming, but he's pretty posh, so you'll never see him farming. Cinderella, she ain't got a fella, but she's gonna end up with Charming in the cellar. That's where they're gonna do it, on the mop bucket on the floor, when it's greasy and she's getting down on the floor. And then the pumpkin comes and ruins it all. And then the pumpkin comes and ruins it all. At midnight, stroke of midnight, she gotta get it in, gotta keep her bars tight. She gotta keep her rhymes locked in. She's gotta keep it, and she's gotta stay away from sin, because the ugly sisters, their faces covered in blisters, the sisters, and they gotta keep it locked in the bin. That's where Cinderella's gonna be in the bin. What is she gonna be in the bin?
Oh man, we suck at this so bad. We've been rapping for like 10 minutes, I swear.
Still can't do it.
I think that's enough rapping.
I know.
I think I'm out. I think my bars are spent. When I'm on the mic, I can't no, I haven't got anything left. I don't even know. I think you won that, to be fair.
I don't know, man.
I think you did.
Close.
I think you did. I think you won. Well
That
done.
last one was pretty sick, wasn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, just pick yourself up like a real rapper would when you're in the mic and you're in the hood. I don't know. So we've got some Learn Atlantis coming up. We're going to be asking you too in a second. Is there any evidence for God? Wow, this show's so weird. How can we go from that to talking about whether God exists? But that is how we roll. When I'm on the mic, it's so... I can't think of any words.
Kerrang Radio.
Oh.
Alex Baker Show.
What a knob. Turned down the wrong fader. Welcome to the show. My name is Alex Baker. Thank you so much for joining me here, darling. Absolute pleasure to make your acquaintance. How are you? Make sure you get us on facebook.com/Kerrang Radio. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Alex Bakerman. You can also find Kev on Twitter at Kevin Hingley. Or, of course, you can get Kerrang Radio at Kerrang Radio. Coming up later in the show, we are going to be doing Big Boy Tune.
I've selected the big boy tune that you guys got on Twitter and hashtagged last week, and it is a belter. It's not a song that's not familiar to you guys. It's a song we actually play on Kerrang Radio quite a lot, especially at the moment, but it is no doubt a big boy tune. So that is coming up. It's not no doubt. It's not like don't speak. That's not actually a big boy tune. Anyway, so right now we're going to be talking about the following question. Is there any evidence for God? Before we get into the chat though, let me tell you a little story. I was DJing at Rock City last Saturday. Not the Saturday, as in yesterday, but the Saturday before. Just after my Club Kerrang show. And when I woke up in the morning, I was watching The Big Questions on TV. Have you seen The Big Questions, Kev?
Nope.
In the studio with me, by the way, is Kev.
Hi.
Hello, my name's Kev. I listen to Morrissey all the time and I wear fashionable clothes.
Right. You've never seen it?
No.
It's brilliant. Watch it. It's great.
Okay.
So on Sunday mornings on TV, it's called The Big Questions. And they were all debating the following question. Is there any evidence for God? And the thing that was kind of annoying about the show was that on the left-hand side of the studio, there was all the atheists and all the sort of disbelievers. And on the other side of the studio was all the priests and all the believers, right? People that have had like awakening experiences and all this kind of stuff. And there was agnostic people kind of sprinkled elsewhere. If you've never heard of these terms before, just got to be aware of the fact that some people might not have. Atheist means you believe in nothing. Religious obviously means you believe in something. And agnostic means you believe in something but you don't know what it is. So you've maybe got spiritualism but you don't know what to ascribe that to. Those are the different terms. But there didn't seem to be anyone in the crowd that was kind of neutral. Do you know what I mean? There was no one like me there. Because I'm not an atheist, I'm not agnostic, I'm not religious, I'm just kind of neutral really. I just sort of soak it all up and I haven't decided. There didn't seem to be anyone like that there. So what I wanted to do is raise the question here today, is there any evidence for God? But before we do this though, it is a really difficult question to answer that because it's actually a leading question. Because the question presupposes that belief can be empirically verified. Now what I mean by empirical verification is that it can be tested and proved through scientific methods, right? And belief can't. It just can't be. So all you ever get when you ask the question, is there any evidence for God? Is you get religious people saying, well, I believe that this and this and this, and I know that God exists because I believe that this. And you get the scientific community and the atheists saying, well, I don't believe, you know, and there's this kind of disparity between, it's like they can agree as much as you want, but eventually it comes back to this fundamental disagreement where one set of people believe and the other set of people don't believe. But truth, something being true or something not being true, isn't subjective, right? It's objective. It's not down to me or you, Kevin, whether something is true or not, unless, of course, we can affect the truth or falsity of a situation. Yeah. Because if I was to say, it's true that I'm about to burp, and then did a burp, obviously that's true. Yeah. But in terms of objective, we're looking at objective sort of values and objective truth. It's not up to us whether something is true or false, regardless of what you believe. So, you can't really involve belief or lack of belief in the discussion. But belief is all that religious people really have, which is why the conversation never really goes anywhere. And it didn't on this TV show. But eventually, every 5 minutes, it would come back to, I believe, I don't believe. The scientific community is saying, look, guys, I'm afraid there's no evidence for God existing. And the religious folks saying, well, there is, because I believe.
Then also the scientific community and the atheists, they say, oh, well, we haven't got any scientific evidence that he exists. But they also haven't got any scientific evidence that he doesn't exist.
Exactly. And that is the issue. That is the issue. So here is a more interesting question than, is there any evidence for God? Is there any evidence for God outside of what you believe? Okay. So there's an interesting question. Let's have a little chat about that. Facebook.com/Kerrang Radio. Get your opinions in. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week on the show. But right now, me and Kev are going to have a little chinwag about this. There's no female opinions, unfortunately, so it's probably going to descend into farce. Yep. We're going to be talking about boobs and football. Not that either of us like football. Both like boobs, let's face it. Especially you, actually. You're a boob man, aren't you? You really love your boobs.
I do like my boobs, but I like my legs.
Yeah?
I like my bums.
Yeah, okay. Bums and tums. And legs and boobs.
I like weird bits as well, like shoulders and collarbones and stuff.
Oh, it's because you're so arty. I just like, when I look at the female form, I don't just see bums and boobs. I see collarbones and I see elbows. And it's these sort of things that ignite my desires. I mean, Morrissey says in one of his songs, when I'm wearing homeless people's clothes that I've picked up from vintage shops, listening to Morrissey on my iPod, I sometimes think about the crevices in Keely's brow. And I think, if it wasn't for that crevice in Keely's brow, her face would not ignite my passion.
Or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so here's the interesting question. Is there any evidence for God, Kev, outside of what you believe? First of all, let's establish your perspective. Does God exist or not?
I'm pretty neutral like you.
Pretty neutral, cool. Best way to be.
Not been swayed either way because there's not enough weight either way.
Because I don't think there is necessarily any evidence for God outside of what I believe. And what people always say is, oh, but like, look at the glory and the majesty of the universe. What about, and one of the priests on this program was saying, have you never had that experience when music elevates you to a higher plane? I'm like, yeah, but what's that got to do with God?
Yeah.
That's not the hand of God. It's just someone's written a wicked song.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Unless it's Maria McKee, that's the hand of God.
Yeah, I mean, that is the hand of God, clearly. No one can write a song that good unless they've been touched by the Almighty Spirit.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, because so many things can be explained away by science. Like emotions.
Yeah.
You can totally explain it away
Flood
by
of
science.
Chemicals and the left synapses and all the rest of
electrons
it.
and all that.
Yeah.
However, there's also so many things that are completely unexplained.
Like what?
Like, how did the world start? Why do there's certain things that literally no one knows why they are that way.
But there isn't any evidence for God outside of what you believe, is there? I mean,
well, it depends on what evidence is, because some people, whether they believe in God or not, would argue that the Bible is evidence. Because, imagine it's like a court case that would be presented as a piece of evidence, because that's what sort of started it all.
Yeah, but...
And then they'd have to look at the Bible and decide...
And there was a lady on this programme that made this point. If in like 500 years or 2,000 years, there was people going, "Pah! Wizards don't exist. Wizards? Of course wizards don't exist." Well, you expect me to believe that there's like guys with wands and they can like shake their wand and things will be magically appear. And then someone goes, "Well, here's the book," and it's Harry Potter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact that a book exists does not make it
true.
Do you see what I mean?
That is interesting.
Yeah. It's a valid point, you know, and the fact that there's this historical book that has a story of this guy called Jesus in it doesn't make Jesus real.
Well, yeah, because it could have just been the birth of fiction.
Yeah.
Could have been an amazing story.
Yeah. It might be, I mean, you could write a book about Derren Brown now and all the incredible, miraculous things Derren Brown does.
Yeah.
And one day people could be looking back and going, wow, man, he was like Jesus or whatever. Yeah. It doesn't mean that he's actually the Son of God. It doesn't mean anything like that.
Well, yeah, because some bloke might have wrote the Bible while he was, after he'd, I don't know, found some leaves and decided, and they set fire by accident. He'd inhaled the fumes.
Yeah.
Invented drugs, essentially. And then tripped out and wrote this mad book from different perspectives, thinking he was like 9 different people.
And also, truth is completely objective, right? It's not subjective. So you could write a book now about how I am the greatest radio broadcaster ever in the history of the world. And in 1,000 years or 2,000 years, people might read the book and go, if only we could be as good at radio.
Yeah.
This is so ridiculous. As Alex Baker, the king of radio.
And maybe then we'd finally get Sony.
Yeah, exactly. 2,000 years later.
Sony in 2000.
Brilliant, to my grave. But that wouldn't make it true. The fact that document exists doesn't make it true.
Yeah,
does it?
That's true.
And the fact that the Bible exists doesn't make it true. It just makes it, yes, it's true that book exists. Yes, it's true that it came from many years ago, but it doesn't make the contents true. And the priests and the religious folk on the panel couldn't believe that concept. They're like, but it's got to be true. It's like, what? What? Because it's old.
Yeah.
Because the book's old, it has to be factual. Like, just ridiculous. So, I'll ask you again, is there any evidence for God outside of what you believe? Factual things, tangible things, not interpretations, not, oh, the world is so full of majesty and love. Because another argument that really annoys me, and people always, this is what atheists and people always say, and they always say it, and it's so pathetic. They go, well, if there's a God, how come there's cancer? If there's a God, how come there's tsunamis? It's like, what does that mean? Like, why does God, if he exists, have to like intervene on the earth all the time to save everyone? We're not supposed to be in heaven at the moment. We're supposed to be on earth. Do you know what I mean? Like in the classic scriptural thing or whatever, heaven is supposed to be this place where everything's amazing and nothing ever goes wrong. No one ever said that was what Earth was supposed to be like. No one ever said that. And then they go, oh yeah, but there's cancer and there's like babies dying. But that means God doesn't exist. Well, how does it? How does that follow? You know what I mean?
There's a book I'm reading at the moment, actually. It's a fictional book. It's a sort of fantasy sci-fi genre.
Yeah.
But in it makes sort of parallels between the sort of religious ideas in that fantasy world.
Yeah.
And kind of puts in your head the suggestion that they could apply to ours as well.
Yeah.
And so the God in that world is referred to as the creator. Mm-hmm. So, obviously pretty similar to
fair
ours.
dues.
And one of the arguments in that sort of combats the, well, if there's God, why is there bad things in the world, is the fact that the nature of the creator is that he creates the world. He doesn't mingle in it.
Police it.
Yeah. If he was to interfere in any way, that would be sort of breaking the cycle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And everything would sort of collapse in on itself.
Yeah.
Because it'd be a paradox.
And that's the same in Greek mythology. The gods in Greek mythology are told they're not allowed to meddle in the affairs of man.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to get involved. And also that's the whole thing about free will. God gave, people free will. The whole idea is that he doesn't meddle. And then you have these people going, oh, but what about cancer? Oh, it can't be real. I can't see, personally, that there's any evidence for God. I can't see that there's any evidence that there's not a God. But now, what's that thing? Is it called Occam's razor? There's a philosophical concept where if something doesn't need to be overly complicated, don't make it complicated for the sake of it.
Okay.
I think it's Occam's razor.
Right.
So if you applied Occam's razor to this, you'd say, okay, look, belief aside, and your interpretation of things aside, there is no evidence that God exists. And yes, there is no evidence that God doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's no evidence that he does exist, why spring this thing into existence when there's no evidence that you should?
Okay.
So Occam's razor would just cancel out the notion of God if you applied it in that way. I think that's right. I think that's the philosophy.
Well, yeah, because you could argue that there's no evidence that, I don't know, green people exist.
Yeah.
But there's no evidence that they don't exist.
Yeah. But you're not going to suddenly go, oh yeah, but they
but
probably,
that means that
they probably do.
Yeah.
Because there's no evidence that they don't, so they probably do.
Yeah.
That doesn't follow.
Yeah.
But it does follow the other way around. There's no evidence that they do exist, so why assume that they do?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not trying to bag on people's religious beliefs here. I'm not saying I'm right. I just find it interesting. Is there any evidence for God outside of what you believe? Because, like I say, is there any evidence for God as a question is really interesting, but all you get really is this kind of clash where eventually when it comes down to brass tacks, some people believe that there's a God and some people believe that there isn't. And this is what happened on this show that I was telling you about. There are people that say, well, there was a guy who said he was in prison and he used to be a gangster and he was in prison, and then he had this awakening and a voice spoke to him in his head and said, God's real, God exists, and it was God talking to him. Now, my interpretation of that would be, and no offence to the guy, he's done a lot of amazing work since, and he's doing really well, and he's helping a lot of people out, and that's brilliant, right? But if I was in prison and a voice started talking to me, I'd think I'd gone mental.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go, God's talking to me. I'd go, I've got voices in my head because I've cracked under the pressure of prison.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be surprised because you're in prison.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what interests me, though, and I'm in no way suggesting that this counts as evidence. This is just something that I've always found quite fascinating. There's so many religions in the world. Some of them are ancient, absolutely ancient, much older than Christianity and much older than anything else. And there's evidence for their age as well, from things that have been dug up and whatnot, and old scriptures and stuff. But what's fascinating is that all these different religions from all over the world, from all these different eras, have so many overlapping concepts.
Yeah, they do.
That are so similar.
Yeah.
That if you were to sort of map them all out and make the connections between everything that they've got in common and everything they don't, it starts to form something in the centre.
Yeah, it does.
That resembles God.
It does, but I've heard an interesting interpretation that it says all the different things, so from Islam, from Christianity, from Judaism, from Buddhism, from all these different factions of society and factions of religion, that what it all comes back to is the actual sun. Not the son of God, not the son of this, not the son of that. The actual sun in the sky.
The S-U-N.
Yeah. And I saw this in a film called Zeitgeist. Now, it wasn't in the most modern version of Zeitgeist. It was in an old version of this film called Zeitgeist, which is available on the internet. And it was absolutely fascinating. I wish I could remember all the details, but I can't. But it showed all the parallels between all the different religions, like you just said.
Yeah.
And it pulled it all back into the sun. So, for example, the sun set on one day, then 3 days later it rose again. And that was to do with the solstice, or when, you know what I mean? Like in some parts of the world, when the sun goes down, it stays down because of whatever the eclipse is. I don't know, whatever the terminology is. But then 3 days later, it rose again. And that becomes like the Son of Man died and then rose again 3 days later. Do you know what I mean? And that stories come from that. And it comes, you know, a lot of people say, like scholars and stuff, say that sun worship was the birth of religion. Because imagine, right? Imagine if you lived in one of these old-time societies where society hadn't even been created yet. You were just some guy in a tribe in the middle of a desert in the middle of wherever in the world, right? And there was this huge ball of fire in the sky that warmed you. So burning bright was it that you could feel it.
Before you even knew what fire was.
Yeah, before you even understood what a fire was, or what thoughts were, or what clothes were, or even had language.
Yeah.
And there's this thing that disappears and you get all cold, and then just when you're about to die because you're so cold, it appears in the sky again and ignites your life again. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd think that was the most awesome thing ever. And yeah, quite rightly, you'd probably start basing belief systems around it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of people, like I say, think religion has stemmed from that. I don't know. It's not for me to say because I really don't know enough about it. But I do think it's interesting, especially when you apply Occam's razor. Is there any evidence of God outside of what you believe? I don't think there is. So why should I believe that there's a God?
Last few things actually that's just reminded me of that. There's a lot of psychological studies about birth and about when babies are born and why they connect with their parents and their mother more so than their father and all that sort of stuff. It's to do with the very first few things you see and hear in your life. Now, so usually when someone's born, you know, they'll see the doctor or whatever, and they'll see their mother and father.
Yeah.
And then they'll continue to see their mother and father more than anyone else. Mm-hmm. So then they'll realise that they sort of created them and they're looking after them and stuff. So yeah, like you said, maybe in ancient times, people were just born outside in the wild.
Yeah.
And then,
which you would be, right?
Yeah. And then their parents might not have developed the natural instinct to look after them yet, or they might have been out for days gathering food and stuff.
And you'd be there staring at the sun.
Yeah, you'd have the sun. Yeah, that'd be the only sort of constant, you know, the most dominant thing in your field of vision.
Yeah,
and what you could feel would be the sun.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then
to me.
you might relate to that as creator.
It does make sense to me. And if you think about an extension of that, right? Now, remember when we were on tour? Me and Kev are in a band, and we went on tour ages ago to Belgium and East Germany, right? Mm-hmm. And we're in a square somewhere in Belgium. And in the square, there was like a market stall and a few shops and a McDonald's, because you can't get rid of a McDonald's. And there was all kinds of stuff all around. And then if you looked behind the final row of like houses/shops, there was the most enormous cathedral. Like, it was enormous.
Yeah.
And it was bearing down on the square. And I remember, I think I said to Tommy, I said, look at that right now. How overpowering is that cathedral, right? And if you were a kid growing up when, you know, there wasn't so much technology and there wasn't so much information readily available on the internet to sort of dissuade people away from religion, etc., 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 and you were naughty, and your mum said, see that massive scary building over there, that huge scary building, and there it was, this enormous, great big looming cathedral which dwarfs every other property in the whole area, right? And she said, there's a man in there called God. He lives there, and if you're naughty, he's going to kill you. Right?
Yeah.
You'd your pants, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And you'd start behaving, and you'd start having that. You'd be God-fearing. You'd be like in awe of this amazing thing. Now, isn't it interesting that kind of dominance of that structure of that building, exactly like we say, years and years and years ago, that sort of dominance and that sort of awe was probably directed at the sun. It's the same sort of concept. You're sort of like in awe of this thing. I just think the whole thing's really interesting anyway. And man, we've taken a massive sidetrack and loads of tangents there, but
What an interesting chin wag. But anyway, so facebook.com/Kerrang Radio. Like I say, I'm not trying to rile anyone up here. If you're religious, that's cool. I respect that. I'm down with that. All good. But ask yourself, is there any evidence for God outside of what you believe, or whoever your God is? Do you know what I mean? Outside of what you believe, what you've been taught, is there any evidence in the world? And I know already, I'm not even looking at the wall on Facebook, but I can already imagine that there's someone there who said something on the lines of, well, for me, religion's like a personal thing, and I kind of know in my heart that God is real. That's not evidence, right? That's what you believe. We're asking if there's any evidence outside of what you believe, physical, tangible evidence.
And we're not saying there's anything wrong with you believing that.
No, of course.
We're just saying, like you said,
because you might be right. I'm not saying, every God might exist.
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know, but I just think it's an interesting conversation. And I'm not trying to change anyone's opinions either. Just interesting to think about these things.
The Alex Baker Show podcast.
Time for our brand new feature. Oh yes, inside the His House. This is the one, the big one, the biggest feature in the world. It's called Try Using It in a Sentence Today. Now, if you've never heard the show before, you don't know what's going on. My name's Alex Baker. Hello. Usually, there's a room full of people here. We've got Tommy, we've got Kevin, we've got Hayley. None of those people, unfortunately, apart from Kev, are here. It's just Kev and me hanging out tonight. Now, what am I saying? Oh, yeah, so I'm rubbish with words. I haven't got a very good vocabulary. Unfortunately, I don't spend enough time reading. I wish I had more time to read, because I do enjoy reading. I just don't do it a lot because I'm always busy. DJing or, whatever it is I'm doing. I was about to say putting up shelves. I don't think I've ever put up a shelf in my life. So anyway, I've got bad vocabulary and I wanted to improve it. So I thought, why not try a new game on the show? It's not even a game, really. It's just factual stuff called Try Using It in a Sentence Today, where I impart new words to everyone and you have to try and use them throughout the week to impress people. I've had so many emails, so many tweets from people saying they've been weaving them into English essays and stuff and wowing their teachers at school. Loads of people confusing and bemusing people at work with their brand new words. So these are the words we've learnt so far. Poltroon, which means a coward. Nutate, which means to nod one's head. Xylography was new last week, which is the creation of, what was it now? It was like carvings in wood for the use of printing.
Yeah, that was it.
So you'd carve something out of a piece of wood and then use it to print. And consternation, which means, what does it mean?
Doesn't it feel anxious about something or something like that?
Yes, to feel nervous or anxious about something. So, he experienced consternation at the thought of having all this work to do.
Yeah.
That was kind of how it sort of worked. So loads of people have been using those words and using them to the max, and I think that's awesome. Well done. Keep those comments coming in at Alex Bakerman on Twitter or at Kevin Hingley on Twitter. So time for some brand new words to the show this week. The first one is assiduous. Have you ever heard of the word assiduous?
No.
Assiduous, what do you think it means?
Well, it's not acidic, because that's acidic.
Yeah.
So
that's a different word. Yeah.
Assiduous. Not a clue.
It means constant in application or attention, diligent, an assiduous worker who strove for perfection.
Ah, nice.
Unceasing or persistent. So assiduous cancer research. Consistent cancer research, so that's a brand new word. So his pursuit of intellect was assiduous, you could say. Or he was actually I really like that new work experience guy. He's an assiduous worker. He's got good things on the horizon. So there we go, assiduous. So if you're at school, for example, and your teacher says, Mikey, I just don't think that you've been working hard enough, you can go, Miss, I think I'm one of the most assiduous pupils here. And she'll go, wow. Obviously, don't be cheeky and get expelled, but you know what I mean. Supercilious is the other word that I want you to try using in a sentence this week. What do you think that means? Supercilious.
I don't remember where to start with that one.
No idea.
Haven't even got a funny answer.
It means, when do you ever? It means, in your face, please. It means full of contempt and arrogance, or behaving as if, or showing that a person thinks they are better than other people, and that their opinions, beliefs, or ideas are not important. Condescending. He spoke in a haughty, supercilious voice, for example. Ooh. So you could say, oh, Loz guest. I mean, he's great at FIFA, but he is just so supercilious about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty tight.
Supercilious. Isn't that a good word? Yeah. See, these are the kind of words I'm talking about.
I'm mutating with my brilliance, but I don't want to be supercilious about it.
No.
Obviously,
If anyone can get all 6 in one sentence, they get like a super exclusive, mega high five.
Mega exclusive, super duper exclusive, mega.
That would be amazing. All 6 in one sentence. You could say something like, okay, I don't want to be a poltroon about this, but I am feeling a little bit of consternation. And I know I'm mutating my head a little bit, but at the same time, I can't get away from the consternation I'm experiencing. I'm not good at xylography, and it fills me with worry that I might have to do some xylography later in my life. But if I'm assiduous about it, and if I really strive for perfection with it, I might get there. But when I do get there, I suppose there's always that fear of success, and I don't want to turn into an arsehole and start being really supercilious about everything.
Oh!
Yeah! How'd
You
like
got it
that?
down.
Yeah, boy. Oh, big in the game of language. So there we go. Those are the brand new words to try using in a sentence today. Assiduous and supercilious. I still don't know if this is the best feature ever, but I am liking the fact that, I don't know, I like the fact that it's improving my intellect, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Even if it's not engaging, interesting radio, I'm liking the fact that I'm helping myself out.
Well, it's better than reading a book to yourself on the radio, isn't it?
Yeah, just getting the dictionary out and having a read.
Yeah.
Here's a word from the dictionary. That is pretty much what we're doing. Anyway.
The Alex Baker Show podcast.
Yeah. Woo! Ow! Alex Baker Show podcast, episode 23. Princess Leia listens to Slayer. She loves it. Slag. So here we are at the end of yet another podcast. For all y'all podcast listeners, thank you so much for joining us here on the P-Cast, hanging out, having a chat with you every single day or night or weekend or whenever you listen to this. Nice to make your acquaintance, hanging out. Make sure you get it on Twitter at Alex Baker Man or at Kevin Hingley or at Kerrang. No, don't do Kerrang Radio because we won't see those come through. Do it at Alex Baker Man, primarily. Always nice to hear from you on there. Anything else to add?
Well, just one thing to remember before we leave you.
Yeah.
The grass is always greener where the dog just shat.
Yeah. It is sound advice. It's also important to remember that when the pot calls the kettle black, that doesn't mean that the kettle's black. What it means is that the pot is a racist. Actually, before we go, I've decided to give the podcast listener an extra piece of exclusive material. Exclusive material. Just off the cuff, really. So there's a guy called Jose Luis Inquiart. I can't say his surname. Really sorry. Not being racist. Just don't know it. And have you ever seen the film Alive, Kevin?
Is that the one where the plane crashes and they all eat each other?
Yes, it is.
Yes, I have.
That is based on a true story.
Yep.
The guy who we're about to hear audio from is one of the guys that had to eat his friends.
Oh, good.
Literally. This is an interview I did ages ago, which I don't know if you've ever heard on the Alex Baker Show. Might have done, but it was properly ages ago. I did this in 2009, I think.
Wow.
And it's a really dark, quite hard-hitting interview, really, because what a crazy thing to have to eat your mates, because you're basically dying in the Arctic or wherever they were. Mad. Have a listen. I don't know why I've decided to put this in, because it was all so upbeat and exciting.
I know.
But I don't know. I wanted to give them a little bit of extra stuff, and this is one of my favourite interviews because it's such an interesting story. So,
okay.
Listen to this. See you later. Yeah, so I remember when I was younger, I came across this amazing film called Alive. It totally blew me away. Not because it was particularly amazing. It was good, but it wasn't particularly... It had Ethan Hawke in it, and I've got a problem with Ethan Hawke. But for the first time, basically ever in my life, I was struck by this concept of survival. You know, like humans surviving, getting into these totally incomprehensible situations and still thriving and getting through it. Basically, if you've not seen Alive, what happens is a plane crashes over the Andes, deep in the mountains. Unfortunately, loads of people die instantly in the crash, but some survive. These survivors are stranded on this mountain for over 70 days. No one can find them. Time passes. The plane's got a certain amount of rations on it when it crashes, but obviously those get exhausted. And in order to keep going, in order to survive, they have to do the unimaginable, these people, or the survivors from this crash. And the only thing there is out there to eat is each other. So it's an amazing story of survival, and what's most amazing about it is that it's real. In 1972, a plane did crash into the Andes, and what the awfulness I just described did actually happen. One of the survivors on the plane was a chap called Koche. He was one of the survivors that went through this awful ordeal. Thanks for joining us, Koche. How are you?
Fine, thank you very much for calling.
I know you've got a fantastic life now. You're married with 3 children. Congratulations.
Thank you. I am a grandfather since the last week.
Ah, really? Oh, well, congratulations. That's amazing. You're also a lottery winner, which is pretty cool.
Yes, in 1993. True.
And you've got a thriving business.
Yes.
And basically, without trying to blow too much smoke up your arse, you're an example that perseverance pays off. So good on you, dude.
Yes, I'm a lucky man too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously your luck's changed because, I mean, these things like I described earlier did actually happen. Now, I hate flying, right? I hate getting on planes. If you know me at all and you look at family photos of me going off to Spain or whatever, and there's photos of me on the plane, I'm always terrified. I'm always white. I'm always white as a sheet. I hate being there. Oh, awful. But flying alone scares me, and a plane crash alone is enough to scare like the crap out of me, basically. But how does it feel, Koche? Because obviously you were in a plane crash. How does it feel when you know your plane's going to crash and you're in it? What goes through your mind?
No, it's horrific because you can't believe it and you think this plane can crash, and in that precise moment you heard the noise that makes a plane when it crashes against the snowy peaks of the Andes, that terrible noise. After that, you are trying to stay alive, but you know that you are going to die in the next seconds, and then the fusillage that was sliding down the mountains through the snow stops, and sound of silence is absolute, and you can't see how it changes your life in a few seconds, but you are still alive, and you appreciate life.
The plane's come to a standstill. I can imagine you sort of get up and you sort of shake yourself off. I mean, were you sort of injured during the crash, or what was the situation there?
No, it was a kind of miracle of life, because there were 45 passengers on board, and after the crash, they stay 29 alive. And from them, 24 was in the best conditions, without severe injuries. So was the hand of God was there, surely. And later on, an avalanche killed 8 more, and then a lot of injuries, people dying, and at least we stayed 16 survivors.
And how did you feel? I mean, was there like a point where you thought to yourself, I'm not going to make it? Or did you think, I mean, what was the situation when I could just imagine the plane's crashed and obviously some of your friends and people have died, and you walk out of the plane, is everyone in shock? I mean, what was going through your mind? What were you thinking?
At the first moment, I wasn't in shock. I was knowing what was happening. We crashed to the mountain. I shouted to my friends and asked me what happened. They were in real shock. But I was normal and had to face immediately what happened, because instead of blaming to the pilots or to the situation, you have to attend all the people shouting and asking for help. So we began to manage those wounded ones with our hands and our best words as only tools. And while we were in that job, the darkest of nights came over us, and within the frozen sensation that held your body and your bones. And I thought I didn't dare die in the crash, but I'm going to die this night because of the freezing weather. But at the next morning, you learn that human heat, human warmth save your life once again.
Obviously, a search party was set up to come out and try and find you guys. You guys are crashed, like I say, in the middle of the Andes, big snowy mountains, snow everywhere. It's a white plain, so they found real difficulty finding you guys. It was unsuccessful. As I've sort of read, there was a radio on the plane.
We put an antenna and heard the Uruguayan notice of Uruguayan radios. And we heard that the rescue was cancelled, and we were abandoned.
This is obviously quite a difficult question to phrase. You had food on the plane. You had, as I recall, you had some wine, some chocolates, some bits and pieces.
But so little.
Yeah, hardly anything basically. But you had to still ration it out. But it must have been obvious that the food supply was starting to dwindle. And what happened next?
As in any circumstance of life, there's the human group is the most important resource of all, but of course. And there was a human being alive, others dead, and that was the most important resources. So we have to take a decision to eat them, to have all the necessary protein and energy, not to die immediately.
And how did you feel when originally the decision was made that you would be eating the people that had died? How did you take the decision at first?
Well, it was terrific because you can take the decision to do it, and I was in my mind, of course, to defend that miracle of life. I have to do it, everyone. But between taking the decisions and executing them is a huge distance, because when you go with a piece of glass in your hand to cut a piece of flesh from the body of your dead friend, empty of soul, your hand doesn't obey, and later on your mouth doesn't open, and later, once again, your throat doesn't swallow, and you have to make a great effort of mind to make your body obey you. And when you can swallow a little piece of raw and freezing piece of flesh, then you can say to your hand, I'm safe. And then nobody talked of this matter nevermore when the last one is a piece, because we have to face other things much important, with much importance than that. That's what was all.
Now, I know that some people managed to get away from the scene of the crash on an expedition to try and find help. There was obviously a few failed expeditions, but over 70 days after being on the mountain, one of the expeditions was successful, and they managed to bring some helicopters back to rescue the survivors of the crash, including yourself. How did you feel, and what could you see when the helicopters came?
You can saw two black dots moving against the white wall, breaking all the monotonous landscape. And then, in a few minutes, they were all around, above us, with the Dutch engines roaring as the best symphony I ever heard, dancing with the wind and the snow on our hands. And in a few seconds, I was inside an helicopter, watching through the window that the little plane, how it was far, and how many beloved friends were lying there, but living forever in me.
Coach, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I know it's obviously, even so long after the event, it must be still difficult talking about these things, and I appreciate how frank you've been with us. If you had a message, I mean, there's obviously a lot of people in life that go through lots of traumatic things, and perhaps not on the same scale as what you've been through, but there are people that sometimes feel like they haven't got anything and they just want to give up. I mean, what would for someone that's been through this amazing experience, what would your advice be to someone that's feeling like they just can't go on?
No, never give up, because you think you are in the worst moment, but enjoy that moment, because you can always be worse.
Well, that's good advice indeed. Coach A, thank you so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure. Bye-bye, and thank you very much.
Hype, hype, hype! Exclusive.